Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is your favorite ringside physician, Dr. Jared Vasquez, and I thought I'd try something a little different today. We're gonna go live stream and see if we get a couple people connected in here to talk about UFC 256. A lot of things happened, and I've been a little bit disconnected from the sport, so I have a couple minutes to do this. So let's start. Before I start, remember to hit the like button, the share button, the subscribe and share, because the more likes we get, of course, the more revenue to the channel, and the more channel growth means that we can start doing the videos again. Again, you know, I've been a little separated from the sport, but UFC 256, I have a couple minutes to do this. And we're going to quickly do it. So let's start with a fight that I was looking forward to for a long time. I was seeing Cub Swanson be back. And one of my favorite fighters, Cub Swanson, an OG of the fight game, fought at 145 pounds before. One of the first people to become a highlight for Jose Aldo. Remember that double flying knee that was amazing in the WEC days. And now Jose Aldo has been kind of a 50-50 fighter. He's been losing some, winning some, but never putting wins together. And now this is the time that he puts two solid victories. Of course, he was facing Daniel Pineda. Daniel Pineda, huge fighter. I mean, physically he looked imposing over Cub Swanson, and really was trying to impose on Cub from the early get-go. And Cub Swanson, man, he was having of course, we all know that Cub Swanson had a problem with his ACL. He had an ACL rupture, I believe it was on his left knee, and that's one of the most difficult injuries to really have. And as soon as we saw Cub get tagged by a couple of those Pineda kicks, man, I instantly cringed. I was completely worried for the integrity of Cub Swanson's knee. But he was able to grit out the first round, and then came back with a thundering left hand and right hand combination that put Pineda out. Pineda was he was virtually out on his feet. As you guys can see here in the picture, Pineda was just going down, and it was a case of Cub Swanson being the slimmer fighter, the more prepared fighter. He was more economical with his strikes. Pineda was loading up and putting a lot of energy into the strikes. So he really, didn't find the pocket to save energy and to, match Cub Swanson's athletic ability at the moment. So it was an amazing fight, and I believe it was the feature prelim on the telecast. So it was an amazing fight to see. And every time you see Cub Swanson is interviewing with Joe Rogan, and you get pretty emotional once you see Cub Swanson win. And whenever he's interviewing Joe Rogan, I feel that any one of them at any point could start to cry. But it was great to see Cub Swanson. Another fight that, but hopefully that knee is untouched. Hopefully that ligament is untouched. That ACL ligament, that's the important part here. ACL ligament was the one that Cub Swanson broke on his last fight. Hopefully his ligament is unharmed, and he can go ahead and get another fight and stay healthy for it. That would be amazing if we could work up a 3 fight win streak. That would be great. Remember, you guys, I'm using StreamYard, so if you have any comments, I can display your comment and your name on the screen, so you're able to participate and get your name out there as well if you participate with me here on the live stream. Also, super chats are allowed, and yeah, comments are allowed. In the comment section, you can go fight. You can talk all the ish that you want. Another fight that I was looking forward to, of course, it was Ben Askren's kid, Chase Hooper. I don't know how to pronounce the name well. I don't know if you guys know how to pronounce the name. Man, Chase Hooper, a great fighter. Just too green. I mean, his striking is exquisitely green. This kid, I mean, his ground game is bar none amazing. I mean, this kid goes to the floor with you, and your knee is in trouble. I mean, he he um he was fighting. I don't remember the name of the guy he was fighting, but he was definitely giving Chase Hopper a run for his money. Solid kicks, great stand up, keeping the distance, and there was something interesting that Dana White said in the post fight conference, and it was that if you can't build longevity in your career if you're getting punished for 3 rounds, and in the last round you pull out a submission, a crazy submission, and win. It's not a way to have a longevity, in your career. It's nuts. It's crazy. So Chase Hopper's his representation has to think: do we take a downgrade from the UFC and perhaps go to one of the Fight Pass leagues for a little bit and risk losing, or take a sabbatical, take a year and go to Tiger Schulman's, Tiger Muay Thai, go to Thailand and really immerse yourself in striking. If he's able to have solid wrestling, maybe, if he sticks going to Wisconsin to the Ben Askren Wrestling Academy, maybe he becomes a really, really dangerous fighter. But the Imanari role, you can't go Imanari role every time unless you're Ryan Hall, of course. That has to be mentioned. But you can't be only relying on the Imanari role just to get your opponents down when your opponents are tired. Eventually, somebody at a higher level is going to come and is going to definitely block that. But the problem here is the heel hook. He was great with the heel hook, and again, when you attack with the heel hook is putting pressure on the ankle and on the knee. So it's a very, very, very effective submission. But I mean, overall, for me, Chase, it's a proud moment for Papa Askren. But for me, Chase Hooper, immerse yourself in striking. That's the best thing you can do for your career. And there's another fight I wanted to talk about, and that was Kevin Holland versus Renato Jacare Souza. And of course, the picture everybody is seeing is this picture right here. Kevin Holland has become a bona fide baddie. He is a badass. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Kevin Holland in 2021 is going to be fighting for the belt. There is absolutely no doubt. And he called out Khamzat Chimaev. And for my taste, that fight, if it doesn't happen, it lowers the stock of Khamzat Chimaev, because Chimaev's brand has been, always face everybody. And look at that picture. It's insanity. He hit Jacare from sitting down. Think about this, guys. When you are fighting and you're creating torque in your body to throw a strike, you have to be standing up. This guy, the only thing that was planted on the ground was his left hip, and he was able to rock Jacare Souza back, fold him like a cheap lawn chair, and knock him out and leave him just wondering what the hell just happened to me. It's insanity. Of course, this picture, it's respect in MMA. It's always a huge deal, but for us, Jacare fans, long-term fans, and old fans of the old school, we were crying a little bit. We don't like to see the old guys lose. So this was the first of a lot of L's for us, the fans of the old school. So it was. And look at this picture. It's insanity. How did Kevin Holland generate all the force to create a knockout on this guy? It's unfathomable. It's unfathomable. Another fight that was really fun was Tisha Torres versus Hughes. Of course, Tiny Tornado. She was a tiny tornado for real, because she was all over Hughes. And Hughes, let's be honest, she quit, and it was for the best, because of course she didn't want to get more damage, and she couldn't see out of one eye. And if you want to see the decision that a lot of fighters do, wow, one of my favorite female fighters, Helen Peralta, and this is quoting an interview from El Pugilato TV, is you got to make that decision. Do you want to really beat your opponent more than you want to see through that eye? And I guess the answer for Hughes was no. She wasn't willing to put her health in danger. And as a physician and a ringside physician, I respect that 100%. That wasn't the only fight. That wasn't the only female fight that was badass. Of course, Mackenzie Dern Pohada against Vima Yandiroba. It was an amazing fight, and something that a lot of people weren't mentioning in this fight. This fight was a great fight. Fantastic. A lot of memes for this fight. I'm not going to say why, but you guys know why. But Mackenzie Dern, look at her body. Mackenzie Dern is gone through a transformation after having a baby. She is a legit athlete right now. She is wonderfully conditioned. Her muscles seem like somebody that has put in the time to really work out her career. And it shows. It shows. She doesn't look soft. She has made weight consistently for her last fights. So this is really a lot. Oh yeah, I agree. Shout out to Jada Shelby. Dern is definitely leveling up here. I mean, it's amazing the way that Mackenzie Dern. You guys remember it was 2 years ago that Mackenzie Dern she seemed not motivated, and she seemed like she really didn't want to be in there at a high level, and it shows now. I mean, her body looks crazy. Her work ethic, her striking was amazing. Of course, Jason Perillo at the helm of the ship, and his striking, it's insanity. It's insanity. So we have another comment here from Terry GM. Hey, happy to have made it to a live stream. Always love your takes and assessments. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. I've been a little away from the fight game and from doing videos, but I'm just checking back in and trying to get started. This with COVID and health issues and stuff, it's been really hard as a physician to really get going here. But more content. Look at this. Look at this. We have this now. So awesome. Let me turn this around real quick. Okay. So staying right here in Brand, it's crazy that Mackenzie Dern fought in BJJ Gabi Garcia. Think about that, guys. It's insanity that this little gal here on the left fought this BJJ monster, Gabi Garcia. Although Gabi Garcia is a little slimmer now, I believe so. And we have a ton of other fights last night, but one that really broke my heart. Of course, we're talking about Tony Ferguson versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira. And oh man, when you see this picture, the first thing that jumps to my mind, that jumps ahead, is Charles do Bronx has his hair white. He's getting some white hairs. Tony's getting some white in his hair. He's getting a little snow. He's getting a little age. Man, Father Time does not mess around. Father Time doesn't excuse no one. And Tony definitely, although tough, man, Father Time, I think, is catching up with him a little bit. He got caught in a horrible submission at the end of round one. He was controlled on the ground. I mean, he didn't let up. Tony is unrelenting. Tony's unrelenting, and he will not give up. And it's to show, because his elbow. If we look at the elbow joint, of course, the elbow joint moves forward and backward. There's some rotation associated with it, but if we see it on the Yeah, I agree. We have a comment here. Yeah, Father Time, along with Tony's inability, the type of guy. Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes being too tough, sometimes being too tough, it's, if you keep on brand with it, it carries you to a bad place physically. I mean, I would say that a fighter that really has withstand the evolution and changing time is Alistair Overeem, because he's been able to change his game and to add longevity his career, and I think that's really wonderful. I mean, he's not going out there throwing everything; he's covering more. So, but he got, he had a few massive losses. It's just we have to give Tony some time for him to adjust his brand and the way he fights. I think he could have some good fights left over, but a lot of people were mentioning brain trauma. Well, we have another comment. Yeah, it was tough seeing Tony get worked like that. Good for Oliveira. Excited for the opportunities. This win will open for him. I'm the same way. I'm a fan of both. I mean, I'm a little partial to Tony because I'm an OG, but I've been watching MMA for more than a decade. And Tony Ferguson, if Tony's not close to your heart, you're not really a fan. Um, so he's one of the most accessible people on social media, and a really fun guy to watch, and he has a different mindset. So I really enjoy him fighting. But the joint involved. This is a live X-ray fluoroscopy of the elbow. You guys can see it looks like a wrench, right? So the forearm, the muscles that get together and form the forearm, form like a wrench and hook up to the humerus, the arm bone. So you guys can see that's the normal extension. Tony's arm was completely bent the other way, which is insanity. I mean, it's I don't. This guy doesn't seem human. I mean, look at the angle of the arm. It's crazy how Tony had that arm there, and I think that ligaments were definitely compromised, if not a fracture. But he was not gonna let up. He was definitely not gonna show anybody any type of weakness. So it's we have to see. We have to definitely see what lies in the future for Tony Ferguson. Of course, he's definitely going to have an MRI, a couple of X-rays, maybe a CT scan to check his elbow out, have some rehab. But of course, Tony trains his elbows, hitting metal, wood, so his elbows have to be calcified and a little bit stronger than a usual fighter's elbow. And it's stay in Tony's bandwagon, man. Tony needs a lot of love. Tony is a fighter that he really feeds off the love, and I think that I don't know what you guys' opinion is. I think that the fact that he is that there's no fans in there affects him because he feeds up the energy of the fans, and you guys can see that in the Rafael RDA fight. So I think he definitely feeds off the energy of fans. He's one of those fighters that does that. Okay, Terry saying the missed shot at Khabib due to all the freak accidents just to get these two dominating losses in a row. My heart breaks for Tony. Man, I'm the same way. It's difficult to look at Tony, and Tony will not give up. That's the problem. Fighters like when you see BJ Penn get caught and stuff. And I'm not comparing the two. I don't want to get in trouble comparing Tony because Tony leaps him down from BJ. BJ's still a legend, but BJ, there's two slides in the sport that really hurt my heart, and it was BJ Penn slides, Jens Pulver slide, Cain Velasquez's slide, and most definitely there's a lot of things that affect him there. Jada Shelby says Tony can be his own worst enemy. He's made some questionable decisions that also contributed to him not getting that title shot. Tony's a legend though. Respect, yeah, I agree. Tony is a complete badass of a legend, and he deserves all the accolades he gets. Of course, he was an interim champion. And he will be, in the history books for that, which is insanity. And you see the hate on social media, and you question them. People, man, don't do that to Tony. Tony has had some mental health issues and stuff. So I hate when he, these two losses in a row opens it up to people just talking all kinds of ish on online, and Tony's the type of guy to see those comments, and I really would not like him to let that get in his head. Maybe changing his joining a different camp or taking a little bit of a sabbatical. It's okay. Taking a little bit, 6 months off. There's no shame in that. Doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, doing some other stuff. I mean, Tony's an interesting guy, and I'm sure he can come up with ways to supplement his fighting style and get a different look. And that's just the way. That's just the way that it's going to be with Tony. Yeah, Jada Shelby, that's another reason I respect Khabib. He refused to discuss Tony's mental health issues. That's awesome. That's awesome. Khabib, I mean, Khabib is. Let's talk Khabib here for a second. Khabib is a fighter that I just happen to have this. Khabib is a fighter that his integrity is, far above and beyond. I mean, he had that incident, jumping the cage and going after Dylan Dennis, but Khabib, I really respect that decision that he took, and he, I don't agree completely with him that Tony's not gonna be the same after the Justin Gaethje fight. He's had bad fights too as well. I mean, Michael Johnson put it on him pretty good, but he just needs a little time off and refocusing. So I think time off will be good. If Tony gets cut, I'll never pay for another. I agree. I don't think Dana's that stupid to cut Tony Ferguson. Okay, Josh Thompson and John McCarthy suggested that with the upcoming cuts that started with people like Joel Romero, could see Tony like nah. I don't. He's of course he's a Khabib guy. Josh Thompson trained with Khabib in American in AKA, but yeah, I don't think he'll get cut. But maybe I'm wrong. So, yeah, but who doesn't want to beat up Dylan? I agree. Dylan Dennis. I call Dylan the missing Paul brother. He's Dylan Paul. He's always fighting with the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, but he's a Paul boy. I mean, he's Dylan Paul. If that name catches, I'm taking full responsibility for it, and I want all the credit in the world for it. Of course, we have Tony deserves to be taken care of after being such a company man. Agree. He's taken every fight. Amazing. So accurate. Yeah, he's a Paul. That's the hashtag. That's the I believe I believe that is the, let me put it here as the Dylan Paul Dennis. That should be his nickname, and that should be the hashtag. That should be his hashtag, Dylan Paul Dennis. I think so. What do you guys think? All right, you guys, I just wanted to get here on the live stream. It's been 22 minutes. If you really like that, share the content because I've been away for a long time. It seems like almost like a month. So I need the loves so we could get my content out there a lot more frequently. What are some of the long-term injuries Tony can sustain with his unorthodox training? I mean, arthrosis. I mean, if Tony, his joints will be. Did you guys see him? He looked a lot more stiff in this fight. His movement was a little bit compromised. Some people, there's some studies out there that show that brain trauma can definitely cause stiffness in an athlete. But arthritis, wear and tear of joints from unorthodox training can definitely lead to joints that are stiff, that are not compliant, and that are not fluid. So once you lose that in MMA, you lose your movement. You're getting hit a lot more, and that's an issue. That's a problem. I believe the Tony 2 years ago, and I'm gonna get flack for it, but I believe Tony of 2 years ago walks through Oliveira like a hot knife through butter. But again, I could be wrong. But yeah, I would say arthritis, because how old is Tony? How old is Tony Ferguson? I need a young Jamie with me here. How old is Tony Ferguson? Let's see how old is Tony. Tony's 36, man. Tony's up there. Tony's up there. But one of my favorite fighters. Actually one of them, the first fighters to ever follow me on social media. I mean, when he was a champion, he followed me on Twitter. When I had, my following on Twitter now is almost, I believe almost 3,000 followers in Twitter. But it's man, he's a cool guy, man. I really love him. 37. Yeah, Shelby. He's 37. He's up there, man. At 40, you know, Yoel Romero is in his 40s. There's a very small amount of fighters, and there's a turnover somewhere that's happening when you when you hit when you hit your 40s or near 40s, especially after a fight with Justin Gaethje. I believe it would be fine. It's just picking the right the right fight. Tony blocked me on Instagram. I don't know why. I think his Instagram is managed by his team. So I don't know. I don't know. There's many fighters that have you know, pet peeves and stuff. It's just, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. Joel is the scariest damn 40. I know. I know. I know. I've seen him in person and it's surreal. He's pretty tall. He's pretty tall. He looks pretty tall and he moves limber. He makes it he's always moved the mobility of his shoulders and neck and back, you know, pre-COVID, where you could say hi to someone, his handshake is fucking firm. Yeah, and I believe he's the scariest 40-year-old. You know, he's Couture was you know, a great fighter in his 40s, but Joel is by far superior. I mean, he's hanging in there with great fighters. I mean, the style bender fight is not the best fight, not the best fight, but you know, what do you go to here? Okay. Oh yeah, he is a absolute unit. The t-shirts look like they're painted on, like they look like they're made out of silicone and painted on. He's insane, and he's one of the friendliest guys, and he's one of the sweetest guys in MMA. You know, when I go do ringside work for smaller promotions, they always have they always have you know, fighters coming from their gyms or they're visiting, and these guys, you know, I've never seen an MMA fighter, you know, say no to an autograph or a picture and stuff. And Yoel is you know, if there's salsa music, he'll be dancing. He's gonna be dancing for sure. All right, you guys. Then those were the fights I wanted to talk about. Thank you for getting on the live stream. If you really like the content, please hit share and like. And if you enjoyed, maybe I'll do more of these live streams. I think I will. So thank you to Terry GM, Jada Shelby, for being here with me on the live stream. I enjoyed you guys participating. And the hashtag for this episode is Dylan Paul Dennis. Make sure to comment it like that in the comments. So see you later. I'm gonna do a post-fight live stream after this weekend's fight. So make sure to get online on YouTube after that. Peace, you guys. Thank you. Love you guys.